Today's topic of discussion is consumer's equilibrium. Talking about the consumer's equilibrium, first we can just have a look at these two particular words, right? Who is a consumer? Many would say a buyer is a consumer. But actually it's not true. Take an example of an infant. He is consuming, say, milk powder, or maybe say talcum powder, or maybe say oil or some other thing. But he did not go to the market. Means he is not the buyer. Okay, so buyer and consumer may be different. Consumer basically means the person who is using the particular commodity. And the objective behind using this particular commodity is to satisfy his want. The whole of consumer equilibrium is based on this particular word, satisfying your want, right? So it means the consumer equilibrium, this topic talks about the consumer who is there for satisfying a particular want. Like for example, simplest example, you are hungry, it's your want, and food will satisfy this want, right? Then second word, equilibrium. Equilibrium means best possible. You cannot have a better situation than this, right? So when can a consumer have the best situation? When his satisfaction is maximum. It means the aim of this particular topic, consumer equilibrium, is to find a certain consumption level, or how a consumer should spend his money, what commodity should he buy, so that his maximum satisfaction can be attained, right? Okay, now moving on to the another important term of this particular topic, that is utility. Utility is simply the want satisfying power of a commodity. Want satisfying capacity or power of a commodity is defined as, or is known as, utility. Like same example, you are hungry, food had the utility. You want to learn economics, economics book has a utility. You want to learn physics, physics book has a utility. You are feeling cold, warm clothes have a utility, and so on. You have to remember that a consumer will buy a particular commodity or consume a particular commodity only when there is utility of that particular commodity. For example, none of you would be ready to take a physics book because for you people it is not having utility unless you have science. Then this utility is related to price can be better understood using a simple theory that is known as diamond water paradox. It's a simple theory, says there is a desert and two people, one a local person who has one bottle of water and one diamond merchant. Who has a bag of diamonds. When they move on a little distance and both feel thirsty, this person consumes half of his water but he doesn't get any water. So the diamond merchant asks this local person to give him half bottle of water. This person in turn says that the merchant will have to give him half bag of diamonds. The merchant disagrees. I won't exchange my half bag of diamonds for half bottle of water. When they move further, again in the sunshine they feel thirsty and need the water. Again he drinks half of that water. So suppose you can say that only 1/4 of the water is left. Here condition becomes very intense. Why intense? He needs the water badly, right? So he again urges the local person to give him certain quantity of water, but this time he says that this time the full bag of diamonds will be needed to exchange this 1/4 bottle of water. Now suppose right now in this particular situation you have 1/4 bottle of water. Can you imagine to exchange with a bag of diamonds? No. Maybe the value is in crores. Say value is say 5 rupees. Huge amount of difference, right? So basically here it is possible because the water bottle has utility, or you can say water has utility, but the diamond doesn't have any utility, right? It cannot satisfy want of anyone. Only water can be used to satisfy the particular want. So this is how the utility is related to price. That's why whenever we will study about the consumer equilibrium, the conditions, everything, it will be compared to the price. Okay, I hope the basic concept of this particular topic is clear, and you always have to remember this water diamond paradox and its conclusion. It is simply concluding that a commodity which has more utility will be paid higher price. First conclusion. And secondly, a commodity which is there is shortage of which, or which is scarce, its value will be more. Why value is more? Because the utility is more, like in case of water. And any commodity which is in plenty means you have ample amount of it, will have less value. This is for the particular consumer, right? If he has more of a particular good, the value in terms of importance of that particular good would be less. Like for example, a person owning 100 cars, for him value of one particular car is nothing, very less. But a person owning one car, for him the value is high. You can say importance, right? Maybe not the price, but we are talking about the importance of a particular good for consumption or for use. You have to remember these particular terms, only then you can understand this topic better, right? Now next we move on to the approaches to the consumer equilibrium. There are two basic approaches. First is known as cardinal approach. Other one known as the ordinal approach. It can also be called as utility analysis. It can also be called as indifference curve analysis. This approach assumes that utility is measurable. In cardinal numbers. Cardinal number means that it is measurable in 1, 2, 3, 4 units, not in points. This approach says that utility is not measurable. It cannot be expressed in numbers. This is an old approach. This is a new approach. This was given by Marshall, often called as Marshallian approach. This was given by Hicks, often called as Hickson approach. You just have to first of all understand the two approaches, what these approaches are and how they are different. Like we said that cardinal approach says that utility is measurable. Measurable means you can count it in numbers. While indifference curve says utility is not measurable. You cannot actually utility is not measurable. You do not have any scale to measure utility, right? For measuring something you need some instrument. Like for measuring the length you need a scale. For measuring the quantity of a liquid you again need a quantities, vessels. Similarly, for finding the weight you need the weights of the certain quantities. But here there is no particular scale or any instrument to measure this particular utility, because it is entirely psychological. It's a satisfaction of the consumer. Old approach given in the olden time, they later on criticized by the people because of this particular assumption, right? This is the reason why it was criticized. So came the new approach, that is known as the ordinal approach. Then the contributor was Marshall, and here it was given by Higgs, that is the Hickson approach. So for finding the consumer equilibrium, we'll first study the cardinal approach, then the ordinal approach. But you have to remember that both the approaches are aimed at maximizing the consumer's satisfaction, right? Maximizing the utility. Whether it is measurable or whether it is not measurable, you have to maximize it. Okay, so now under the cardinal approach, we have to understand two important terms. First is TU, that is total utility. Total utility shows me the utility gained by consuming certain units of a commodity. Right? Like suppose I consumed say 5 units of chapati and say got 50 utils of utility. Utils is the unit used to measure